Woman, Swift and Saddled, Nothing Like the Movies, Hi, it's Ingrid, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's time for another reading vlog. Happy bookmas. I'm stressed. It's December 1st now that I'm filming this. I think at least the first 5 days of bookmas is going good. Still a little stressed, but we're gonna try to ignore that and just enjoy it. So in this video I thought I could try to read the highest and lowest rated book on my TBR and see if I agree with the ratings, if I like the highest rated more than the lowest rated, or if I'm the opposite, that I like the lowest rated more than the highest rated. I don't know. But instead of doing like all of my books, I decided to do this with my December TBR, which I have here. The battery is flashing. I got Little Women, Swift and Saddled, Nothing Like the Movies, Caraval, Language of Thorns, and what's it called? A Study in Scarlet. So you can go watch my December TBR if you haven't. I'm gonna add them all into a Goodreads shelf. I'm gonna screen record very quickly and we're gonna see how they're rated. Okay, is it recording? I'm pretty sure it is. So we're gonna do average rating. So the highest rated book is actually Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. And the lowest rated is Swift and Saddled by Laura Sage. I was not expecting that. Out of all of these, Language of Thorns is highest rated. That actually surprised me a lot. Honestly, I thought that would be the lowest rated one because this is like a collection of fairy tales, I'm pretty sure, within the Grishaverse, while everything else is like full novels. But I don't know which one I should start with. Swift and Saddled is a cowboy romance, the second book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. In this one, we see, I think the guy is the brother of the main character in the first book, and this girl gets hired to do renovations on the ranch. So this is a romance, this is a fantasy. I don't know which one I should start with. I think I'm gonna want to start with this. It's the highest rated. It's split up into different stories. I think there's a little... Yes. These are the ones. There's one Semani story, 3 Ravkan stories, 1 Kurt story, and 1 Fjorden story, and then an author's note. So I'm going to try to read at least 1 story, and then maybe I'll read a little bit of this, and then start this one, and then end with that one. I don't know. We're gonna read the first story in this one. So I have read the first 2 stories in this. How many pages in am I? Don't really know. I'm on page 79. The first story was a little boring. I kind of predicted, not the outcome, but like the structure, because it's really following the fairy tale structure, which you would expect because they are fairy tales. But I was a little bored. I think the stories that the character was telling was more interesting than the story I was reading. Second one was a little better. Like, I don't know what to say about this because it is just a collection of fairy tales. So I don't think I'm gonna rate this book. Obviously I haven't finished it yet. I wish I had read more, but I'm probably gonna sit down and read a little bit more of it today. But I don't really have a lot of thoughts. It's just a collection of fairy tales. It's hard to talk about because they are very short, and yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I'm reading it, but I just don't know. I feel like this is fun because eventually when I have children of my own, even though these are fairy tales that exist in a fictional world, I can still like tell them to my future children. And I like the idea of that. But other than that, I don't really have anything to say about it. So I'm gonna try to finish this book today. Don't know if that's gonna work out because we are going to this opening of this thing. I don't really know. But we got asked if we could come, so we're coming. And that's at 7, so I should have some time. But I want to film and edit and do some things. But I want to try my best to read that. I don't think I'm going to talk too much to you about this book until I'm done. Probably just gonna film me reading it. And I'm very excited for Swift and Saddled. What was I doing? I was thinking about how much I love Done and Dusted, and that got me very excited for Swift and Saddled. So I'm excited to start that one, but we're gonna finish this one first. Hi. It's been a while, has it? I don't remember. I finished The Language of Thorns last night. I don't really know what to say about it. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I read it, but it's not something like really special. I feel like I might have enjoyed it more if I read like one fairy tale at a time. Obviously I read them one at a time, but not like back to back. Like read one, read something else, maybe pick it up again 2 months later. That type of thing. But I think it's fun, you know, because they are written like the fairy tales that the characters of the Grishaverse grew up reading, and I think that's so fun when it's a world I love that I get to like be a part of the whole thing. So I had a good time with this. I haven't rated it yet, but I guess I would rate it like 3, 4, something like that. I don't really know how to rate this because it's not like a normal novel. It's just a collection of fairy tales. I almost want to say like it is fairy tales but they're fiction, but obviously all fairy tales are fiction. But these are just fairy tales within the Grishaverse, and I think it's fun. It's interesting. I can see the similarities to the fairy tales they are inspired from, because she's used like fairy tales that I know and rewritten them in a fun way. Some of them I actually liked a little more than the ones I grew up with, because I feel like some of them would anger me. Just didn't like the decisions that were made, and in this one we got like something different, and I like that. So I'm glad I read it. Also the cover, gorgeous. All of the art in here, like every page has something, and it's just so pretty. But I don't know, what was the rating of this again? It was 4.28, so yeah, people like it. And I agree, it was good. Now, the next book I'm going to pick up is Swift and Saddled. We already talked about that a little bit, but this one has a 3.96 star rating on Goodreads. So, did I tell you what it was about? I think so. But this is the second book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. This one follows the brother of the female main character from the first book, and this girl he hires to renovate the guest ranch or something. And they meet in a bar, I'm pretty sure, kiss, show up to work the next day, and they realize that this is the person. So I think it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna sit down with this for a little bit now. I'm probably gonna have dinner soon, but I'm gonna try to read at least a little bit. Like, it's a very short book. How many pages is that? 300. So it's very short. And I loved the first book. That was a 5-star for me. It's possibly my favorite romance I've read this year. Yeah, I know it is. I think. Yeah, but it's one of my favorites I read this year. So I'm very excited for this. It's a little bit later. I don't know if I like this. Whenever my hair is like out of my face, I don't like it. But I like braids and I want the curls tomorrow. But I have read a lot of Swift and Saddled. I'm on page 196. I've been flying through this one. I sat down, started reading, continued until dinner was ready, went downstairs, ate, came back up, continued reading until I went and took a shower. And I'm very ready to continue this. I'm loving it. I was expecting to love it because I loved the first one, and like the writing of the first one was really easy for me and I really enjoyed that. I keep pausing after every single word and it's annoying me. I'm sorry. I need to stop doing that. But I really liked the first book. That really made me like Lila Sage as an author. But then I heard like some people didn't like this one as much as the first one, and that put me off it a little bit, and I really need to stop doing that because I know that my opinion isn't always the same as everyone else. I feel like a lot of the time when people are disappointed, I end up really liking it, and sometimes when people really love it, I don't necessarily love it as much. But this one, I've been loving it. I've been flying through it. It's so easy to read. It's quick, simple, in a good way. And yeah, like, I've read a lot. And I'm so happy about that. I think the man in this, Wes, is so cute. I'm gonna fall for the cowboy no matter what. But like, I loved him. The girl, Ada, I feel like she's a little childish sometimes. And I understand insecurities. I'm a very insecure person, but I feel like she's just overdoing it a bit. And the whole, like, he can't be that good because good guys doesn't exist is a little annoying. But I still really like them together. I love the tension between them. I wish there was a little more depth to it. Like, they both have backstories, but we're not really into it. We don't see too much of it. And I wish we got more of that, but I'm having a great time with it. And I'm going shopping tomorrow with my mom because we have to look for them Christmas presents. And I'm like 99% sure I'm going to buy the next book in the series. There's one book that just came out, and then I know that there's another book coming out after that. But I need the next one because I'm absolutely in love with Lila Sage and this little Rebel Blue Ranch series. I'm hoping to finish this today. I need to do some editing, so I'm going to sit down and do that right now. But I'm probably going to read this before I go to bed. It's pretty late. It's 11. But you know, who cares? I'm really liking it. And the covers are so cute. I love them. So as you saw, I did finish Swift and Saddle last night. I ended up rating it 4.5 stars. I really loved it. I'm obsessed with Lava Sage and her writing and this world. I love Rebel Blue Ranch and all the people on it. I love a cowboy romance, and I feel like this is perfect. Obviously not perfect since I didn't give it 5 stars. I had like a few things that made me lower it. I've talked about a little bit of it already, like the girl, Ada. I feel like sometimes she was a little childish and I just didn't like her decisions all the time. The way she was thinking about her and Weston, I just didn't like that. Like, she was very set on them not working out and nothing happening, and she got a little angry sometimes. But Wes was perfect, like the way he handled that. Instead of like fighting back, he was like, okay, I accept it. And he was so cute, like it didn't pressure anything on her, but it didn't leave either. And he's so perfect and I love him. And I love them together. I like their relationship. Like I already said earlier in this video, I feel like we could have gone like deeper into their struggles and backstories. It was very surface level because both of them had things they were going through, but we didn't really talk about any of that, and that was a little annoying. But I did really like it. There were some things. The writing in general I would say is pretty good, but there were 2 lines in here at different points where I felt like she had written them down and like decided like this is something I want to include, and then put it in somewhere, and then later written more and then saw the line again and put it in again, because it was the same line 2 places in this book, and that happened twice with like 2 different things, and it doesn't mean anything anymore if you put it again. Because one of the lines, I don't think this is a spoiler so I'm gonna say it, but one of them was something like, it wasn't that I didn't feel like one of the things was Ada thinking like, it wasn't like that it's not that I don't belong, I just feel like I belong elsewhere. And that was like, it hit me. But then we kept going, and then that same line came again, and like, it doesn't mean anything anymore. It's not special when you've already used it. So should have just decided on one place to put it, it would have meant more. And there was another line as well, I don't remember what it was, but it was the same thing, and it felt like she forgot that she'd already put it in. So I ended up 4.5. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. I really enjoyed it, and I'm so excited for the next book. I will be buying that the next time I'm at the bookstore. But I'm gonna end this video now. I had a good time. I'm glad I read these books. I'm so obsessed with this world. I love Lava Sage. And it's short, which is great, but I actually wished it was a little bit longer, because then we could have gone more into detail about things. But I had a good time. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna go do something else, edit, read. I'm trying to decide what reading vlog to start, because there's 3, 4 maybe different videos I really want to do with different books I really want to read. But it's really hard to decide like which one do I do, because I really want to read a fantasy, but I also want to read a romance. And then there's like the videos I've planned, there's none of the same books in the same videos I want to read. There's always one book from that video and one book from that video, and that's a little annoying. But I'm gonna try to figure it out, and I'll see you next time. Subscribe, please. It would mean a lot to me if you could stay and watch. I'm posting every day. I'm struggling, but we're making it work. So I'll see you next time. Peace out, lovers.